now turn up.
What up is Marcus with Dynasty Football Dads. We have a special video. We're going to be going through draft pick trading, and I have a draft pick calculator that I took a bunch of different calculators together, and we're going to go through a couple different trade ideas, different tiers, where you want to be, and what picks you don't want to have, because there's certain times that you're going to drop off, and you need to either trade up a pick or trade down, just so you can collect more picks and better value. But first, we're going to be giving away a Brandon Ayuk free signed jersey. All you have to do is be a subscriber, and we're going to give that away at the end of the month. So it could be you. All right. So first of all, I have a little chart here that I have compiled a bunch of different draft calculators. And just to know that this is 21 draft picks. When it comes to 2022, 2023, especially 2022, I always say take about 3/4 of that value of where you think you're going to be. So if you think you're getting an early first, that's like pick probably 1 through 4. I would say try to pick like maybe whatever is in between 2 and 3. So whatever in between, so about 750 maybe for a value. And then you're going to have to times that point by 0.75. And I'm not going to do that math for you, but that is just kind of an idea of where you're going to get value at. And then if you have a pick 2 years out, so 2023, half that value. So that value is now an early first in 2022 is 2023, is worth about 375. So it's a really, 375, you're looking at pick like 7 right now. But that is the way you're supposed to value picks. I mean, eventually, yeah, those picks are going to become more valuable as the draft comes closer. So it's like a stock that you have to kind of wait on. But again, you are waiting for a while. And if you're collecting 2022, and 2023 picks, sometimes you're waiting too long. But anyways, so the draft chart here, some of the big trades that I've seen, or some of the trade ideas that people have offered. The big one is trading down from that like 102, 103 spot. At 101, a lot of people are happy with Najee Harris, but if you're at 102 and 103, there's a lot of people that are not Travis Etienne fans and not Jamar Chase fans. They're kind of like, what should I do? I don't really care for either one of them, or I don't think there's a big elite jump above some of like the Batemans and Pitts and stuff like that. How do I trade back and maybe get 2 of those players? So a trade, at least with the calculator, that would work theoretically is 106 and 107 for 102. I've also seen 107 and 108, but there's a reason why I don't want 108, so I'll stick around and see why that is, especially in a 1 QB league. A lot of this stuff will be 1 QB, but you can apply this to Superflex as well. The tiers are just different. 102, again, is worth 848, and then 106 and 107 combined, 763. What you're looking at is why you could say why you'd be losing out on the value is I think Chase is not worth the second pick. So especially if you're looking at Chase and if you're looking at a wide receiver at 102 or 103, my ideal situation is to move back. And the reason to move back is because I don't think there's a big difference between Devontae Smith, Bateman, and Chase. I don't think there's a huge, ginormous gap between those players. So if you can collect picks, so if you can trade basically Chase for 106, let's say 106. In this case, let's just say Devontae Smith is gone. Let's say you have Bateman and 107. Now, let's say you get Pitts. So you have now Bateman and Pitts versus Chase. So Chase might be amazing. And you know what? Bateman maybe doesn't perform as well as Chase. Let's just say that in this theoretical world that it happens. But then Pitts does amazing. So or Pitts does decent. Or Pitts is, and his floor is pretty high, Pitts is. Or let's say you need a QB and you go Trevor Lawrence at 107. This is where you need to start looking at, okay, well maybe if I'm interested in that wide receiver that is valued maybe at 103 or 104, you're looking at a 689, 574 value compared to that 848 value. If you're looking at Travis Etienne at 102, this is kind of one of those that I would stand pat because I think there's a big drop off when it comes to running backs. I think Javonte Williams is good at 103. And I think my personal opinion is Kenneth Gainwell is really good at 103 or 104, and he's a little bit more of a gamble. But if you're looking at dropping from 102 to like 105 in this kind of chart here, you're needing like a 105 and a 106 to move up to that 102 or to trade away that 102. So just have those ideas in theory of what you want to do if you're trading down and if you're trying to trade up. if you're trying to trade up for that running back of like Travis Etienne, don't be afraid to package two really good players that you know, like Bateman and Pitts, like 106 and 107, to get up into that 102 range, to get your stud running back if he's going to come fill out your roster. This I guess draft is pretty deep, and I would say it's about 7 or 8 deep. I think one player is going to be put in a horrible position. I just have a weird feeling it's going to be Bateman, and he's going to go to like the Ravens or something, or the Patriots, and we're not going to like it. But that's just my theory. This is what most people have for a tier, basically the top tier here, is they have the 3 running backs, Javonte Williams, they have Travis Etienne and Najee Harris, and then they have the 2 wide receivers of Chase and Devontae Smith, and then there's this kind of like third tier is Pitts, and sometimes Pitts is above those other players, but Pitts, Bateman, and Trevor Lawrence. So you have like 8 really good players talent-wise, and I think then there's a big drop-off. And I know other people can complain and argue that Jalen Waddle or Moore or anybody else should be a part of that. And in my thing, in my even just analytics and video watching through this, I think there's a big gap between it. Another trade, if you're looking at trying to go up, if you're trying to go from, let's say, late first to into this like 107, 108 range, preferably 107 is the key, because 107, I think, gives you kind of if you're stuck, I need a wide receiver at 108, there's a chance Bateman goes 107 or 106. You need to kind of get up into that 107 range. It's 107 is probably the biggest change of the draft. Unless somebody's crazy, unless you know somebody's crazy in your draft, maybe like me, who's at like 105 or something like that, and I'll be like, hey, I'll take Gainwell, like I love him. Or if Javonte Williams falls at like 106, 107, I'm taking him. But anyways, sidebar. Anyways, you're gonna probably have to trade like a 110 or a 111 plus early second to move up into that 107, 108 range. And if you don't have that, try packaging either a little bit later, so like a 112, I mean, that's pretty much as late as you can get in the first round, plus maybe 2 seconds to get up into that 107 range, or you could try to package a 11, a second, and a third. Hopefully you have an early second or 2 seconds and a third to get up into that 107 range. That's how big of a gap I think there is. I don't want to be stuck with at like 112, like an Amon-Ra St. Brown or something, when I know that if I would have packaged just packaged it up there and I would have gotten Rashad Bateman or Kyle Pitts or something like that, I would be in huge doubt or a huge regret if I did not do that. And another situation, and if you're at 104 and you are maybe looking at running back and, oh my goodness, you're not a Kenneth Gainwell fan, and you have 574 on 104 for the value mark, maybe you're looking to trade back. You can trade back and maybe get like a 107 and 112, that big key 107, because maybe you're not getting Chase or maybe Devontae Smith, but again, you're getting Bateman and 112, which is maybe Bateman and Amon-Ra St. Brown or Terrace Marshall or something along those lines. Maybe you're getting those 2 players for Chase or Devontae Smith. That's just an option. These are all different options that you can definitely do. Please let me know if you have any draft pick trade, I guess, wonders. And let's go through Superflex real quick here. I know it's already getting past 8 minutes here, but Superflex, I think the tiers are definitely different because you have 4 really good quarterbacks that I can see go in the first round of Superflex. And we're talking about Lance, Wilson, Fields, and of course Trevor Lawrence. Trevor Lawrence is going 1. A lot of people are jumping off the Fields bandwagon and jumping on the Wilson bandwagon for 102, but honestly, I could see those QBs go 1, 2, 3, or even 1, like 3, 4, depending if somebody really, really wants Najee Harris. So in that case, know that there's 3 quarterbacks that are going to push that 107, 108 down, that big, huge line at about 110, 111. And so maybe some of these values are slightly different, but know that, again, QBs are going to be hugely, hugely valuable towards the top end. But again, I think using this chart is going to be immensely helpful. And know that your values can be, I guess, if you get offered 1,100 points for 1,000 for pick 101, know that you might want to not accept that offer because you want Trevor Lawrence. And in fact, if I'm getting offered 104 and 105, that's about a 1050. There's no way I am accepting 104 and 105 for 101. Like, I'm keeping 101 personally. So know that you want people to sometimes overpay if you're if you're comfortable where you're at. Like, make them overpay 100, 200, 300 points. If you really truly believe, like, you know what, I need 104, 105, and I need a first next year, or something along those lines, and know that, okay, well, if you have a mid first, that's probably going to be worth like 300 points. So maybe they're paying by over 300 points because they really, really want that 101. And then you end up with 104, you end up with like a Trey Lance and a Najee Smith, or Najee Smith and a Jamar Chase, or Najee Smith and Devontae Smith, plus a first next year. These are all things that you have to look at: roster construction, roster confinement, where you want to be in the next year. Do you need one player to compete, or do you need 3 or 4 or 5 more players to compete? Because if you need that, then you might need to trade back and get more picks so you can help bolster your roster. There's a lot of different roster construction. Charts in any calculators are here just to help you mold and try to figure out, well, are you getting ripped off completely, or are you not? That's what they're kind of here for. So, this is Marcus with Dynasty Football Dads. Make sure you subscribe if you made it this far. All right. Hey, you Jersey. Woo-woo. All right. Peace out. See you tomorrow.
Now turn up.